Hello everyone and welcome to the General Computer Skills Training course. My name is Kyle Monahan. I'm going to be taking you through various computer skills that you might need today. This is the first episode in a series of 6 episodes on general computer skills. I do not assume any background in computer usage, so this is starting from scratch. Don't feel bad if you've never used a computer at all. The impetus for this program and the design of this program is all centered around a course at the Harvard Extension School, which I'll put a link down in the description for, which is actually taught by Dr. Joseph Hunt. So if you're listening to this, Dr. Hunt, this is for you. But basically, what I'm going to go through is some key computer skills. Now, you might find that you have some of these already. You feel very comfortable with these. That's great. If you don't, and you'd like more information on them, just take a look down in that description where I've posted some links that you can learn about. Now, many people ask me, what are the computer skills I should know in order to be successful? Let's say you want to get a new job, or you started to use computers, or perhaps you've never been comfortable with computers. There are some 5 general computer skills that, according to students.com, which is linked in the source below, you should know. One thing I always like to mention is thinking about the operating system that you're in. In this case, we're in Windows 10. That's a Microsoft operating system. You might use an Apple computer, which uses macOS operating system. You also might use Linux, a lesser-known operating system that's free and open source. However, whatever operating system you're in, these 5 general computer skills are independent of that operating system. What that means is you can use them anywhere. If you're using a computer in the library, you're using a computer in the office, or even you're using a tablet or something like that, you can feel comfortable that these computer skills will be useful to you. So, the first computer skill that we're going to go over today is shortcuts, specifically keyboard shortcuts. These include anything that you might hold down the control key on your keyboard. Take a look at your keyboard with me now. If you look at the bottom left or bottom right side of your keyboard, you'll find a key that says CTRL. Now I should note, if you have a non-US based keyboard, you might find the control key in a different spot. However, if you find a control key, that's the key we're going to be using today. Try to click and hold the control key. Do that now. Now release the control key if you haven't already. Now let's try to highlight text. So, for example, if you're on YouTube, why don't you click the title of this video along with me? So if you click with your mouse, just as you would normally click with your left mouse button, double click and it will highlight a text. So we can do this together now. Double click. Sometimes you have to click and drag. If you're on a tablet, that would be like an iPad, that would be clicking and holding to drag. So if you do that, you'll see that the title of the YouTube video will select. If I wanted to copy this, you could in fact right click and go to copy, or we could use our keyboard shortcut Control and C. That will copy the material from here. If I wanted to paste that over here, that would be Control plus V. This is very useful to do, not only for Word documents like we're doing here now in Google Docs, but also for images and things like that. If, for example, I wanted to go up here and let's say I had a puppy's image right here, and let's say this is such an adorable puppy, I want to bring this puppy into my Google document, I can highlight this guy, so click and drag just like we did before, Control C to copy, and down here we now have an adorable and note copyrighted puppy. So let's move him back out of there. Wonderful. Okay, so now Google Skills. The next thing we might want to do, and something that I just started to do, is going on Google. Let's say we wanted to find a specific type of puppies. Well, let's say we wanted adorable puppies. We could type adorable, and clearly other people have looked up adorable puppies because, that's an important part of life and living. But if you haven't looked that up or you wanted to maybe be more specific at your search for puppies, let's say I really wanted corgi puppies. I could put in quotes, corgi puppies. And what that's going to do is search for the string corgi puppies instead of puppies corgi or corgi red puppies or corgi blue puppies. It's going to only look for the string corgi puppies, which is great. It's much more accurate. It's really giving me what I want. Well, let's say I wanted adorable puppies and corgi puppies. I didn't want any other mix of these. I could just add the Boolean search term and now I have only those images that responded to adorable and corgi puppies. Let's say I wanted to find only academic images. I could always do cite.edu. And so what this does, and actually, let's before we go into cite.edu, let's have everyone do that here at home. Why don't you bring up Google, search for adorable, and quote, corgi space puppies, end quote. Do that now. While you're doing that, I might as well tell you a little bit about why the photos you'll get here could be slightly different. Well, Google's algorithm for ranking photos depends on many things. The photos that are indexed by Google, the relative search terms and responses of those search terms over time, and a lot of other algorithms and optimization that they use to make things work. So you might find slightly different photos. Don't be afraid of that. That's okay. Cool. So if you haven't searched for that, or if you're having trouble, feel free to put a comment in the link below. But if other than that, if I wanted to restrict it to what type of website, so you notice this is a .com, I could also search for cite.edu, and that would bring up only photos of corgis from .edu. So if I hover or put my mouse over these, we can see pages.drexel.edu, people.ucsc.edu, pit.edu. Looks like this is an adorable photo. That's Drexel. Drexel is really doing well with the dog photos here. It's like almost like a advertising for Drexel. I swear I'm not, although it's a good school. But Anyway, all right. So we've looked at enough dog photos here, and this takes us through our second skill that I wanted to cover today. The third one is computer security best practices. Now, one of the key things to note are the types of passwords that you're using. So your password should be long, it should be alphanumeric, so it should have alphabet, and numbers in it. You should also, where possible, use two-factor authentication. That's very important. Now, the next skill I would like to talk. Oh, and if you have any questions on that, I'll post some links in the description below for you to explore a little further about your own computer security, as I know it is a frightening time with all of the various changes that have been occurring. All right, so sending emails. This section is one of the most important skills that you have. If you're using Gmail, this is what it would look like. Perhaps it's not black. I tend to like a dark theme just because I'm on my computer constantly. But it's up to you. Now, if you wanted to compose an email, you either type add or compose. You just click on this here and, I'll have to delete that. That's my personal information. Oh, that's disappointing. Well, I assume I'll put something over that in the video and that will be fine. Nonetheless, we'll move on. So writing an email is as simple as typing in the person you want it to go to. In this case, it's going to be myself, which I'll also have to remove because this is all my personal information. But you type a title, a subject. This is the subject, and the body. This is the body. Thanks, Kyle. One of the things to note that I always like to do is address I myself, address the person. Another thing that's always good to do is if you make a spelling error, like say this, it will highlight in red. In that case, I can right-click it and replace it with there. Very good. Now we feel comfortable that there are no errors here, which is great. Error checking in emails is very important. All right. Our last thing is on typing. I want to show you this great option for practicing touch typing. If you feel uncomfortable with touch typing, you can go to this website, click to activate, and I start typing here. So as you start here, 1 ITEIN space INE space ETT space ETEEN space NEE space AP space, right, and so on. This is really great. So as I type this, it took me a little bit to, because it's not very good to do while you're recording a video. But it's very nice. I think this is a really great website to look at, and that link will be down below. All right, so now we've covered the main computer skills that are most useful, that will kind of underlie everything we're going to do in this series.